welcome to Monday night reading writing sprints. I had a moment of panic there. I went, what day is it? Am I doing this on the right time?
Because your brain's going Thursday, right? Your brain's it must be Thursday.
Honestly, and I don't work on a Monday, so my week, I only work Tuesday, Wednesday in my office job. So I never really know what date it is. Like on a Wednesday, I'm saying goodbye, have a good weekend to people at work, and they're like, we've got 2 more days left. So yeah, I never know what day it is really. But I was just saying when we were off live, it's very nice to see you both together on screen. It feels like it's been too long since we've had a little catch up. So we are going to do that. We're going to catch up. We are going to be productive. All of us feel like we need a little bit of motivation tonight. So hopefully we can give that to each other. We can nudge in the private messages. If you see me pick my phone up and look like I'm scrolling TikTok, please just send me like a virtual kit and we'll try and... It's so addictive, isn't it? Why is TikTok more addictive?
It is.
Why is it more addictive than any social media? You go on to post something and you're like, I'll just watch a couple of people's videos, and the next thing you know, you're like watching a CGI'd cat like leaping off a fence or something. Like, what has my life become? So yeah, if you see me doing that, don't allow it. It's not what I need to be doing tonight. I need to be writing a book. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I am trying to edit a bit, write a bit of Mina and the Cult. I'm sort of in the last quarter of the book, I think. Although I've done a lot of moving around, so who the heck knows where I am at this point. There are 61,000 words in the document and about, I think, maybe 8,000 others in other documents that need to be pulled in to make a cohesive whole. So it's fine. I'm sort of on track with my deadline, which is good. But I just need to keep going. You know, and you can see the deadline. You're like, that seems a while off, so I'm okay, but I don't want to...
Don't get comfy with it, because that's the mistake I made. Yeah, no, for sure. I set myself a personal deadline of getting everything done by March. We're in May now, and I'm still not done. So yeah, it felt like it was years away, because I set that target back in October. So I was like, I'm going to do NaNoWriMo, but I'm not like focused on actually finishing in that month. I'm going to give myself until March, because I know that as it ramps up towards Christmas, it's going to get more hectic in my business. And then March just blew by, and I was like, we're in May, and there's not much of May left. So yeah,
this year is,
I can't.
It's a bit scary. And that's the thing with self-publishing. I was just talking to a friend about that, because she was planning to publish, I think, in July, and she wanted to get it like to editors and stuff this month. And she was like, it hasn't gone to them yet, because I think you can kind of nudge your own deadlines. Whereas I know that if I don't get it to my editor by, it's now August, but I've got some other things lined up in between that I need to work on. So I'm like, August is just, I know that I'm going to mess her schedule up if it doesn't go to her. So I think if I could set my own schedules, I'd be like, I'll just push it a week, a month, a year or 10, and then it would never happen. So you can do it, Hannah. Come on, like I think it's can. You've got to like, is that psychological thing of like just...
Well, it's a full redraft, so I'm not actually writing anything from scratch. I'm just kind of reworking stuff. So I'm beating myself up, because I'm like, it shouldn't take me this long, and yet it's taking me forever. So yeah, I just need accountability.
I know what you like. You're like me. We want stuff to be right, don't we? And not like rush it out. Yeah. Draft, redraft again, and so on. How about you, Lizzie? Have we tempted you back to the writing fold yet, or are we still reading?
No.
I'm barely doing anything at the moment, so I actually just need to finish a book by next week. And I've read a total of 34 pages. So I'd like to actually...
what is it?
Even If We Break by Marika Nijkamp. No, I'm going with it.
I think it's Nijkamp.
Has that got mice animals? I can't see what they are on the cover.
It's their masks.
Oh, it was the sticker. I could see a sticker and I thought that was a mouse ear. Okay. I'm seeing mice. I'm going to Disney in 3 weeks, everyone. Everything is mice at the minute. I'm like, I'm so excited. Really excited. I am taking work with me, because I really need to work on something while I'm there. But yeah, I'm going to be Disney during the day, and then when my little boy goes to sleep, working at night.
Love that.
I'm still very excited. But yeah, so hence me seeing, is that a mouse? Is that Mickey? It's Mickey, isn't it? So are you on your werewolf book?
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to be flitting between that. I also need to read because obviously we've got Total Bollocks this weekend. So we're reading books that have neurodivergent characters or tropes and themes. So I've got this one, and because I'm a suck up, I was like, "What?" Well, I haven't started it yet. I was like, "What bookmark shall I use?" Oh, I'm going to use my Mina one, obviously.
Oh, yay! Thanks.
So I want to read a little bit, but I want to get at least 3,000 words like edited and redrafted, and then I'll move on to the book.
You scare me with your word counts. I'm like, if I do 1,000, I'll probably be quite happy.
But this is it. I'm so inconsistent. Is I will either do like 200 words or 3,000. There will be no in between. And I know, like, obviously the whole point of like writing every day is that you get into that routine. But because I'm not writing for me every day, I'm writing for clients and I'm doing very different things every day. I just don't have that consistency anymore, and that is like a routine that I really want to get back into. But in the meantime, I'm going to be here and you're going to hold me accountable and I'm going to hit that goal.
Yeah, it's hard because I know I've got about an hour and a half a day that I can write most days, so I've just got to get 1,000 words done in that, or I can usually edit a little bit more than I can write. Although the bit I'm in at the minute, I know I've got to do a big edit, so I'm not setting a word count for tonight because I just don't know. With editing, I'm like, I know I can write 1,000 words pretty easily in an evening, but editing, it could be 3,000, it could be 500 if I get in a tangle. So what book is it that you're reading, Hannah? I missed that.
I'm reading Talia Hibbert's Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and it's a YA about two kids that go camping as like a part of a school trip type thing, but he's got OCD. So he's really struggling with it, and she kind of runs these survival groups, and they're clearly like that love-hate relationship type vibe. So I'm here for it. But Talia Hibbert obviously includes neurodivergence and like chronic disability and things like that in all of her books, if not most of her books. So I knew it'd be like an easy tick for our book club.
Cool. I don't think I've read any of her books before. I feel like, are they mostly contemporary?
They're romance, contemporary romance. So they're not ones that I've actually recommended very much because a lot of the people that watch my content prefer the spookier stuff. But like as a palate cleanser, they're really fun. Like they're just a good time. It's very gentle writing. It still has those like poignant moments in it that all romances have where like something horrible is happening. But I think because these characters are either neurodivergent or have chronic pain or disabilities or things like that, it really grounds the novel. They feel very human. It doesn't feel like when you read some romances and you're like, this would never happen. Like this is not real. And I really like Talia Hibbert is very funny. She's got a wicked sense of humor. So if you need a palate cleanser, would recommend.
Yeah, I do. Whenever I read a contemporary book, I really enjoy them and then instantly forget that I enjoy them and only pick up murder mysteries for like the next 10 books. So I knew when I hear people say that, I'm like, I need to remember. I should probably show you what I'm reading as well, because if I'm good, I will probably read this, which of all the beautiful bookmarks I've got, I'm using a umbrella label.
Love that.
So, and it's one of those books where the title isn't on the cover, so I have to look at the side. Murder on a School Night is the title. And then it says murder can really cramp your style. And it says on the back, there's never a good time to find a corpse, especially one with a menstrual cup in its mouth, but finding it when you're trying to kiss your crush, dead awkward. So I think it's like a murder mystery, but sort of feminist and about what it's like to be a teenage girl. And I've just started it and it seems really good. I know Kate Weston's really popular for like her contemporary, funny, like feminist ones. And then this has got the murdery bit thrown into. So
fun.
Hopefully it should be exactly what I want to read. Let's see who's with us tonight, and then maybe we can get to a sprint. Hello, yes, extra one. StreamYard seems to be like, because I'm not doing as many author interviews at the minute, just because I've not got time to fit them in. I seem to have like lots of StreamYard hours left over at the end of the month, so I am squeezing in these extra ones. Hooray! Oh, I'm so jealous of Together We Write. I keep seeing people reading that. I need to figure out how to make friends with whoever is sending those out, because I want one. I have pre-ordered it, but I'm impatient. Although you know what would happen, I'd get sent it instantly, too scared to read it, and then wait till it comes out anyway. Hooray! When is Camp Spooky? What is Camp Spooky? Do you two know about this?
I have not heard of this, but I feel like I want to go and check Twitter and see if I can find something, because I love spooky. So that's like, yeah, sold.
Yes, and Hannah,
also,
if you
can hear the cats, I'm so sorry. They're
I can't hear the cats. It's fine. I was going to say, you will hear, child or husband in this house, pets and other people's streams. I'm quite used to people and animal background noise. Hooray! Freedom. Hannah, if you can tell us a little bit about that readathon, that would be cool as well. Yes, please do write the book that we all want to read. It sounds really good. Oh, you've got a copy, Sharon. Very jealous. I don't know when that is. That is the sequel to Legends and Lattes, isn't it? Is that right?
I think so.
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's prequel, yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, prequel. I keep getting mixed up. Although saying that, if it's a prequel, well, I love it so much. If it's, I don't know, prequel. How do you two feel about prequels? Do you tend to like them as much as sequels? Controversial question.
I genuinely don't have a preference of like prequels or sequels. I tend to, if I'm invested in the characters, I don't mind if it's their earlier story or their kind of the aftermath. It's really interesting because I read recently Bloody Rose, which is the sequel to Kings of the Wild, but it's like 5 years later and loads of things have changed, but it's from a very, very different character's perspective. And I find that really jarring if you've like really bedded in with this one group of characters and then the next book has nothing to do with them whatsoever. I find that, jarring. But I don't mind if it goes backwards or forwards, because Lizzie and I are currently reading the prequel for Skullduggery Pleasant. And we've read all of the books and all of the spin-offs and everything like that. Like, this is the last book that we've got of Derek Landy's that we've not read. And I do not mind at all that it's like 300 years before Valkyrie Kane's going to rock up. So I just really enjoy the writing style. But I think sometimes for me, it depends on what I'm connected to, if that makes any sense.
It does. I was just thinking about this series that I read years ago. It's called, I think it was Generation Dead, where anytime a teenager died, they would come back as kind of a zombie, and depending on how they died and how long they were dead, they have like, some are more human in aspect than others, and some like can't speak or anything anymore. And they were really good. I think the first book I absolutely loved, and like you said, it had a perspective shift in the next one, and I just totally lost it. Like, after being obsessed and thinking it was the best thing ever, I think maybe I read 2 books, I was obsessed, and then it shifted perspective and I was just done. Whereas authors like Laini Taylor's really good at introducing a character, like carrying on with the sequels, introducing a character, and they just fit in seamlessly. And although you get their perspective, you're not just desperate to get back to Carrie or whoever else. So I think certain authors, it just depends, like you said. But sometimes when I hear prequel, I tend to be less excited than sequel for some reason. So I must have been burned in the past, but I can't really give you examples of why. I just don't. How about you, Lizzie? Do you have a preference, or you like that it kind of can go?
I don't think I care too much if it's a sequel or a prequel, but it does have to add something to the narrative, like, because that's what really annoys me when it's just like done as a cash grab. As long as it expands on either the characters or the world, then I don't really mind if it's a prequel or a sequel. A lot of the times I feel like a prequel, I don't see the point of them, because you already know what the story is, so the kind of the threat doesn't feel that big, because you know these characters are going to turn up again, unless it's set like thousands.
Yeah, maybe that's it, actually. Depending on the genre as well. If it's like high fantasy or horror or something and it's a prequel, you kind of know who's still alive, don't you? Because they're in the sequel. So maybe that's it. That's the kind of books I read. I can see a cup of tea's just appeared next to me, so it's making me think I should go drink my tea, do some writing. So what we're going to try.
You're going to say about if the characters show up. I think sometimes knowing that something awful happens as well, and your prequel kind of adds to that, because Lizzie and I watched Critical Role, and they did like a prequel series where they keep referring to this thing called the Calamity, but it's never really been fleshed out what actually happened. But like, there's been like real vague. There's been stuff like lore and stuff around it, but they then did like a prequel series basically where they talked about what actually happened. And because you know this thing is awful, and you know that like half the world is going to be ripped away basically because of the lore that's been set up in the previous series, that I can absolutely get behind.
Yeah, that sounds really good. What is that? Did you say Critical Role?
Critical Role, yeah. They did, I think it was called Exandria, was their kind of prequel. It was really good.
Is that a streaming service then?
It's just on YouTube.
It's a D&D role-playing group. They do podcasts as well. They're quite long, but they're pretty good for background noise.
Yeah.
And just kind of like chilling out. If you like podcasts, I can definitely recommend them.
Awesome. Yeah, I think somebody, I sometimes do these Alex Fowkes, who wrote the Rules for Vampires books, and she loves D&D, so I think she might have recommended them to me as well. And she's convinced that I'm going to start playing D&D with her when I have more time, but I haven't 100% committed myself, but I may later this year have a go at it. There's talk of a vampire character, so I was like, oh, I really want to be a vampire. Okay, maybe I'll do it if I can be a vampire. Oh my goodness. Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay, I don't have favourites, you know. I love everybody equally, but Hannah's just like...
But also, yeah.
I know. Hannah's offering me those books. Yes, please. I will DM you. That would be absolutely amazing. You've just made my day. And RIP my deadlines. Oh, excellent. It's nice that it's just as cozy. I love that. Oh, hi. So I always do this. I like read messages that people could read themselves. Sorry, Sharon, you can read that to yourself. Stephen saying hi, Sharon. I love how people chat to each other in the comments of these. It's very nice that I feel like there's like a little group of friends who hang out together on a Thursday night, and then the bonus ones that we do. So I'm going to go drink my cup of tea and write. Han. Sorry, you prefer to be called Han, don't you? I'm really sorry. I don't know why I keep calling you Hannah. And Lizzie, please correct me if I ever say stuff wrong, because I'm so tired when I do these. I feel like my coherence level is just like rock bottom. You're hoping to read lots, so if we don't see each other doing those things, we can nudge in the private chat. And everybody else holds accountable to. If you see us on screen not doing as we should, please remind us that we have lots to do. Okay, so let's go to the first sprint. We will do 40 minutes, 30 minutes. If either of you want to head off at any point, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to stay, we should be finished about 10 usually.
Perfect.
So set the timer now, and we will catch up on the other side. Hello.
Hi.
Well, I'm Lizzie back in. Hi. Well, I think Lizzie's still muted.
Hello. Sorry, my computer just literally crashed out of nowhere.
That's fine. I wasn't sure if you'd removed yourself intentionally. I was like, I didn't want to add you back on and then you'd be sort of...
No, my computer literally froze and then went off and then restarted. And I was like, why? Why? It's fine. Like, it's not... The fan isn't going like crazy. So I literally have no idea what it was doing.
Speaking of fans, if you can hear anything now, I've just had to plug mine in because this computer's getting a little bit hot. So didn't want mine to kind of blow up on us while we're filming, you know. So how did you two get on? How did it go, Lizzie, apart from the tech malfunctions?
Pretty good. I read 51 pages. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. It's not what I thought it'd be. It's more YA than I was expecting, and it's a YA thriller. But it's much more YA than I expected. But it is really interesting with the different like point of views that we're getting from. And I'm quite excited to see if I can figure out who it is. Because it's I'm like, which friend is it? Who's gonna be the one that does something that means they will have a really bad weekend? But it's set in the middle of the woods, up a mountain in a cabin, and they're all kind of trapped there.
What it's called. You've just
even if we break.
Even if we break, yeah, I need that. I think that's going to be the book.
I think you'd love it. I genuinely think you'd love it. I think it's a really good time. It is very YA, but it's a good time.
Really great setting, and it's reminding me so much of there's a video game and I can't remember what it's called.
With all the friends that go up into the woods, and like one of the twins, like, or one of the siblings, like gets attacked in like the opening scene and stuff. I know exactly which one you mean. Can never remember the title.
Oh my gosh, I can see it like clearly in my head. Oh, something Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, yeah. So Until Dawn is a video game, which is really, really immersive. And all I'm getting is flashes of that video game with reading this. Because it's set up a mountain. And they're trapped up a mountain while a serial killer is around.
That sounds really good. And I think that actually would fit one of the prompts. Thank you for the link to the that spooky readathon, Ham, because I just looked at it and it sounds like a readathon I can actually do. Because, some... like you have to read lots of books or it's confusing. I don't seem to be able to do those at the minute just because I haven't got time. But this is to just read a spooky book set at summer camp in June, a book set near a spooky body of water in July, and then August read a spooky woods book. So I feel like that could be my August book maybe.
Perfect.
My friend's got a book called Welcome to Camp Killer that's coming out, Cynthia Murphy, but I don't think it's going to be out by June, so I'm sad about that because that would have been perfect. That would have fit just right, but I think it might be September it comes out, so unless I can somehow get a copy of that in the next 8 days, that's probably not going to happen.
You need it soon.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, have they done them? Like, I feel like she might have asked me to read it if there was that option, but maybe I just need to ask one. So yeah, it sounds really good. I like the idea of a readathon where I don't need to do too much because it might stress me out. So thank you both hands for telling us about that. Let's see what we're getting up to in the comments. Sharon and Stephen chatting. Hi, thank you for joining us. It's nice to see people at the live because I think sometimes like the time of day just doesn't work. But you can obviously always catch up later. Horror thriller recommendations: The Missing Person Prompt, Winter Setting, and Domestic Thriller. Sharon has just read a book about missing people that sounded really good. I can't remember the name of it, Sharon, but if you can put that in the comments, that'd be super. Winter Setting, I really loved, oh gosh, what is it called? Amy McCulloch's adult book, Breathless. That is set up a mountain and a girl is trying to climb, I think I can't remember which mountain, one of the tallest mountains in the world. She's trained for it and she's up there and people start getting murdered and she's in this obviously like environment that's really deadly anyway and then becomes deadly because there's a murder up there. So I'd recommend that. Domestic thriller. Dunno, either of you two have a domestic thriller up your sleeve?
Sundial by Catriona Ward.
What was that, sorry?
Sundial.
I haven't read that yet.
That I think can definitely be a domestic thriller, but it was one of the first thrillers I read, and I absolutely loved it. It was really creepy, and it had flashes of horror, but it is still 100% a thriller.
Lizzie, I'd appreciate it now. No more book recommendations, please. Just add that to a list as well. I mean, I'm sort of joking because I do want you to keep giving me them. But I've just written down 2 books that I want now. So this can be an expensive evening.
I have another winter setting as well. Which
go for it.
Leech by Hiron Ends.
Okay.
A sci-fi thriller. Horror is kind of like one that goes across the genres, but that is set up some mountains. And it's a little bit, you're not sure what time frame, and I'm not going to spoil it because it's kind of important to the story. But again, it was another horror thriller that I really, really enjoyed. So
that's cool. Any more, Han, that you can add to the list?
Well, I always recommend the Even If We Break for winter setting because there's loads of snow in that one. But the domestic thriller, my favourite book of all time thriller-wise is The Murder of Graham Catton. But it's been re-released as a paperback with the title My Husband's Murder. And basically it's about a woman who may or may not have killed her husband. She straight up does not remember. But she knows that he was murdered. She knows that someone was arrested for it 10 years ago. And she knows that if she did kill him, she's got away with it. However, there is now a podcast that has new evidence 10 years later that is positing that she may or may not have killed her husband. And it's all about that. It's so good.
Who's the author?
Good. That is Katie Lowe.
Awesome.
It's fantastic. Another one when I didn't think I liked thrillers, and Hannah said, read this. And it knocked me off my feet. It was absolutely fantastic. Writing style, everything. Because the whole time you're guessing, like, did she, didn't she? Who knows? Like, we don't know.
See, Katie Lowe's like a proper great gothic fiction writer. So I feel like I really like the tropes that she includes, and the writing is very pacey, but it's also the whole time you have no idea, is it supernatural? Is it psychological? Is it like what is happening? And I love that. I love not knowing.
Yeah, that sounds so good. I've just added that to the list as well. I think in the next sprint, the first thing I'm going to do is go and buy those 3 books. Hi, Charlie. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad it's a page turner. That is exactly what I was trying to do with that. I hope the 3rd one is too. I'm really working on it. Everybody saying hi. That's cute. Yeah, I think that's a fair question, Sharon. Solitude by Michael Penny is a good missing person in the woods.
Cottage Gore, I like that. I like that a lot.
Cottage Gore, sounds so cool. I still haven't read that CJ Tudor one. I really love her books. And I'm going to try some Keelan Patrick Burke. I promised Sharon I was going to read Sour Candy to try it and see if it's too scary for me. Girls Have Lost Hope, that was the one. In fact, I'm going to write that down because I keep forgetting the name of it. Girls Have Lost Hope. It sounded really good. Okay. Because I never tend to watch these things back unless I really need a book title, because I hate watching stuff that I'm in. So it's good if I can avoid going back through my own speaking. Excellent. I like.
Yeah, there are some pretty intense body horror. So as a content warning, if body horror is not for you, just as a thing, there's a thing with an eye that really got me. And I would have appreciated knowing that going in, because it properly. It gets kind of gross, but it is a really fun, good horror. So I'm really glad you enjoyed it as well, Sharon, because I haven't read it.
I never know with body horror. Like, it depends, because occasionally something will just get me that I didn't expect to. Like, I'm not going to say, but I read one of the short stories in the anthology. There was a particular body part where I was like, oh my God, I didn't expect that to be gross, but it's really gross. So yeah, it just depends. Hi,
is that the Lurking in the Dark one?
No, that's the one that I've just done my second to last read through of the one that's coming out in September, which is, oh my God, I can remember the name, but I'm writing too many books a minute. I can talk about this one, A Taste of Darkness, which I've co-curated with Mia Kushnia, and we've just done, so we've read all the individual stories, but they've just been put together for the first time. So we've just done, and that was so cool because like the way that's, I kind of helped with the order, but Scholastic mainly did it. And it was nice to see like some similar stories together, some further apart, like intentionally to kind of give them breathing room from each other. It was so interesting to see where they put them and how like ones with common elements like I didn't realize that mine had a common element with one, and they're together, and they just seem to progress really nicely from each other. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. But some of them are scary. Oh, thank you. I love it that people are reading my book right now. I sometimes think when a book's been out a while that it kind of like, are they still reading it? Do you see the nice little Kev cameo, everybody? It was like, oh,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, Ace. Oh, okay. I remember now. We chatted the other day, didn't we, on Twitter? It would be very lovely to meet you on Saturday. I'm going to MCM if anybody is going. It's my first time there, and I'm being an author and also being a kind of person who's going to run around and buy all the things. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it, but I know that they're trying to like up the book element of it, because I don't think that's been a huge part. But they've got some, like the Panline one's great. I've got I say I've because I'm chairing it. There's Gina Blaxell, Tracy Darnton, and Bryony Pierce. So we're talking about way thrillers, and there's loads of cool authors going. I wish I could go on the Sunday too, because there's some really good panels there, but sadly I can only manage one day. Oh, Charlie, I don't know. Recommend Charlie a fantasy book that you might not have read.
A fantasy book that you might not have read that will have come out recently. Because I feel like I was updating my website earlier. So there are some like really great fantasies that are coming out, but I don't know if they're out yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a quick look.
Okay, I'll set you off with that. Let's jump through. Sharon is the go-to for extreme horror. So if anybody wants to be absolutely terrified, yeah, we think that Charlie should break the ban. Oh, good question, Sharon. Hooray, solidarity. We can be like wide-eyed and afraid / excited together. Oh, I hope you have fun there. I haven't been to that one before. Sure, we'll cross paths soon. Han, I know we've got some things in the works, haven't we? Oh, Sam Bessinger and Dale Halson. Why are those authors' names so difficult for me to pronounce? I'm sorry, I'm tired. I think, I forgot to ask you, Han, how did you get on in that sprint with your writing?
I managed 925 words. That would have been really impressive.
That's just 3 books,
words. Which actually most of that was a complete rewrite, because I read it and I was like, I hate all of this. So I just rewrote it. And to answer your question of high fantasies to recommend, The Blood Trials by Annie Davenport is the sequel has just come out of that, which is The Blood Gift. And I adored the first one. It's a really fun high fantasy one. It's a BIPOC author with BIPOC characters. Racism is a key theme, but she's an absolute badass. And it's one of those fantasies that it's still high fantasy, but they have just enough tech that it makes it almost feel sci-fi as well. But really great pacing, really cool characters, and just generally a good time.
Interesting.
Only other one I want to recommend is The Desert Prince by Peter V. Brett. That is trans and non-binary rap, and it's one of my favorites that I read last year, and I think everyone should give it a go. It's technically a companion series to a series that Peter V. Brett wrote like a couple of decades ago.
Okay.
But I haven't read that prequel series, and I still love The Desert Prince, and I know there's going to be more of his books. He's currently writing this series, but I think for representation, it's one of the better ones I've seen. And it's great. It's just really fun.
Cool. What was the name of that one again?
The Desert Prince.
Excellent. Okay, I hope that one of those fits the bill for you, Charlie. Oh, Charlie loved the first one in that series. Okay, so it might be that Girls of Lost Hope is a book that may not be out yet by those authors, if you are interested. Okay, I'm going to mark where we are. Oh, Charlie's read The Desert Prince. You two have good taste. Okay, so let's get to our next sprint. Are you continuing writing and reading the same books in the next one?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Yep. I am going to hopefully... So I edited a scene that I'm quite happy with, but I know that I really need to kill somebody off at the end of it, so I've been dreading that. I always find that really difficult. Like, I was going to say executing, but that's the wrong word. Executing a murder scene like really well, I think, especially if it's a character that you kind of have tried to make people like. So we'll see how that goes. If you see my face following it, I write murder mysteries and don't want to kill anybody. That's, you know. Oh, Girls of Little Hope. Is that what did I say the name wrong? That's probably why I've confused everyone. Excellent. Okay. So let's go to another sprint and then we will catch up. on the other side in another 40 minutes. Hello, everyone. How did we do? How did you go on, Han?
I managed a full 1,000 words that time.
Nice.
Which makes me 2/3 of the way there.
That's really good. I'm nowhere near that. I haven't counted what I've been doing, but I feel very slow tonight. I kind of got to a point that I was happy with, so I was like, I'm just going to read my book now. It's really good so far. It's fun. They're sort of investigating a social media troll at the minute, these two girls, and nobody's dead yet, but I'm hopeful that there's going to be. They're going to a party. I feel like a party in a teen book, there's probably going to be a dead body by the end of it. Yeah, so I think the next one, I'm possibly going to start watching Yellow Jackets. We watched like the first few minutes and it seemed good on Paramount. So I could read a bit more, but I'm probably just going to watch TV realistically. How about you, Lizzie? Did you have a good sprint?
Yeah, well, I was on TikTok for some of it, which people may not have noticed because I very sneakily held my book up like this so you wouldn't know.
I have to say, you looked like you were focused.
I was going to say, it was only because I received a TikTok that I realised you'd been on TikTok.
But I got to be honest, this is what these sprints are about, is accountability, and I wasn't keeping myself accountable or allowing anyone else to keep me accountable. However, I still read 49 pages, so I feel like I still won,
That's still really good.
And the first creepy thing has happened. Well, okay, no, but the first, disturbing, gross thing has happened, and I'm like, oh, this turned up a notch. There was definitely, a shift, and now the shift has happened. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, how disconcerted am I going to be? It's going really quickly because it's not that long. The whole book is 310 pages, and I'm like, I'm basically at the halfway point now. And I'm like,
it's all downhill from here.
Yikes! I really am not sure who it is, and that's crazy because I thought by now I'd have some inkling, but they keep on talking about a character that hasn't turned up yet, and I'm like, is that the person? Is that the clue? And I'm like, I'm not saying anything else because I could spoil it. I don't know because I haven't finished the book yet, but that's the closest thing I can think of right now that would make sense.
Sounds like an almost clue. You're doing very well, Han, just kind of nodding sagely.
I'm trying really hard because I'm really bad. I'm not I am not a poker player. You can usually tell by my face exactly what I'm thinking, but I do find that if I grin ominously, that's just sinister enough that you don't know what I'm thinking.
I'm going to remember that because people say stuff to me to my face all the time about my books or on social media, and I'm like, I
find that just grinning, it is disconcerting though. So when I play D&D, I have this habit of if my players have tried to work out a mystery or if they've put two and two together, I tend to just grin at them and go, interesting. And they don't like that. They really don't like that because it could mean one of two things. They've either absolutely got the nail on the head or my plan is worse and what's coming is so much worse. So yeah.
Okay, I'm remembering all these tools for later use. So the book we were talking about, Girls of Little Hope, is out on the 13th of June. Thank you for chasing that down for us. Oh, yeah, Han's got it. I mean, I like both titles. I think I probably said it wrong, Sharon, just to confuse matters. Yes, me. Not very scary horror, though. I write YA horror murder mystery books set in 90s New Orleans so far. Han writes, I want to say, is your newest one horror or is it more of a mystery?
It's a supernatural thriller, so it's got horror tropes in it, but it's not a horror. It's not in the way that yours is very clearly a horror and a good time. Mine is not a good time. Mine is a scary time.
I feel like it's gentle though. If you kind of want the extreme stuff, Sharon is here in the chat. If you're looking for Rex, Sharon will direct you to the dark corners of horror. I can tell you about the YA horror that there'll be peril and murder, but it won't be too bad. Hi, I'm never sure if comments like that are a person or a bot, so I'm going to acknowledge it with a hi and we'll go from there. So let's do this last sprint. I usually put these at half an hour just because it is getting late. So if that's okay with you two, are you two happy to stay around for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I'm going to read, I think, for the last half hour, even though I hit my 2/3 mark because of where I got to an end of a chapter. I don't want to start because I know what will happen, Amy. We'll finish these sprints and then I will continue writing until a silly hour in the morning and then I'll be really grumpy tomorrow. So I'm going to read it.
I'm impressed that you can do that. I generally get to between 9 and 9:30 and my brain just nopes out. Like literally, I just in the middle of a scene, then it just went, I'm done. No, you can't have the next bit. It just, I've had a really tiring day, so I think that maybe I just need to read/watch TV. That's the plan for the last one.
Well, Lizzie will confirm that once I was like, I'm just going to finish this chapter and then I'm going to go up to bed. And Lizzie's room is on this floor. Mine's on the top floor. So I have to walk past Lizzie's room to get there. Like 3 hours later, Lizzie came back downstairs to be like, Hannah, did you want to go to bed sometime today? Because I was like full on in gremlin mode. The lights had all gone and I was still just...
It was really late. It was like 11:30, and I was like, Hannah still hasn't gone to bed. Like, I know, like living with Hannah, if she hasn't had a night's sleep, God forbid. Like,
I'm the worst. And I'm a morning person as well, so I'm really the worst.
She doesn't do non-night sleeps, and I was just like, I have to deal with you tomorrow. Go to bed.
I used to be me. I used to be like, I need 9 or 10 hours of like consecutive hours of sleep to function, even barely function. And now I have a child who doesn't like sleep. So I've just had to adapt and hope that at some point he grows out of it. Thank you for coming. I think that if I was just doing them by myself, I'd be bored, but I feel more motivated and have fun when there are people on screen and chatting in the comments. So thanks, I appreciate it. I'm going to try and do more of the like extra one, but it just depends how many StreamYards I can squeeze in. But yeah, always Thursdays, unless I'm away or anything. And then yeah, try and squeeze in the extra ones too. So let's go to this last sprint and we will see you on the other side. Hi everyone. Sorry that my camera is now a little dark. We decided it was too bright in this room, so I just turned all the lights off, so there's just literally the one lamp behind us. So definitely on like wind down mode in this house. And I've nearly finished the first episode of Yellow Jackets. I don't know, have either of you two watched it or heard anything about it?
No, it's on my to watch list. I just haven't got around to it yet.
Well, we accidentally paid for Paramount because we know where you do the free trial and then don't cancel it. So I was like, we're going to watch something on this before. And annoyingly, we did it because we thought the new Scream would be on there, and it's not. So I've ended up paying for something that I wasn't going to use for the like intended purpose. But yeah, I really like it so far. I've like not that much idea what's going on. It's like one of those mystery ones where you're just trying to figure out, because it flashes back between past and present. So you're trying to figure out who everybody is and like, are they all still alive and stuff. Yeah, it's very interesting. I think you both like it. So yeah, that's what I did for half an hour. Nothing actually productive. How about you, Lizzie? Did you read?
I did, and I actually read, and I read 62 pages.
Nice. Oh gosh,
I got really freaked out though. I don't know. There was a moment I thought, oh, I don't like this. I like it.
I'm a bit worried if you're freaked out. I'm going to be really freaked out. I did order it, and the murderer one that I've all instantly forgotten the title of. My husband's murder, is it? Or yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's not. It's just very unsettling. I texted Hannah to be like, "Oh, I'm unnerved. I don't like it." It's just a bit creepy, and it is gorier than expected. And it was really YA until suddenly it wasn't really YA, and I thought, "Wow, this went from 0 to 100 real quick," and I didn't see this coming.
I did give you a heads up. I did tell you.
It's really good, and I'm nearly at page 200 now. So
excellent. Good. Is this going to be one of those late nights reading, or are you going to call it quits fairly soon?
I don't know, because I want to know who it is.
Excellent. I love a book like that, actually, that you can't put down. How about you, Han? Did you end up reading the book that you picked up?
Yeah, I did. I didn't read very much of it, though. I only managed like 25 pages. I also fed the cats and was attacked mercilessly. But other than that, I didn't do a whole lot.
I find I read slowly at the beginning of the book. I don't know about you two, but I think that it sometimes takes like the first 50 pages or something to like pick up the pace. Like this one, I can feel myself like really getting into it now, and I'm like 36 pages in. So yeah, that's not too bad actually. I think it sometimes takes me longer than that, just to kind of get grounded in the voice and the world and who everybody is. And like with thrillers, like the one you're reading, Lizzie, I think that it's when they start to kick off that you're like, oh yeah, I can't stop reading now.
Yeah, considering how long it takes me to read like the first 100 pages of a book, I always seem to think that I can finish the last 100 pages before bed. Yeah. Like I always, if I'm reading, I'm like, oh, I've got less than 100 pages. I can absolutely finish this, regardless of that. It takes the exact same amount of time, but in my head, it's so much quicker. So I'm like, yeah, I can finish this. I cannot.
I do the same when I'm writing and editing. I look and I've edited like 2 pages in half an hour or something, and I think, oh, in the next hour I can edit the next 20, can't I? And you're like, probably not, because that's not how maths works.
Well, I am looking, and I only have 116 pages left, and I'm like, do I try and do it and then hate everything? I don't know.
Well, yeah, we're going to finish this episode of Yellow Jackets, I think, and then go to bed because I'm exhausted. So yeah, let's see. I think there's just 1 or 2 more comments, and then maybe we will call it tonight. Excellent. It sounds like there's a lot of cat care going on in that sprint. Excellent. Everybody looking after their pets. Okay, I think maybe it's time to call it a night. I can feel the incoherence like coming up on me, and I want to finish this TV show because you know when you're waiting for something, like when it's a thriller or mystery, and you're just like, somebody's going to die at any minute. I've been feeling like this for about the last 20 minutes. So I think there's going to be a shocker at the end of the first episode. I can like taste it. So yeah, so thank you two for coming on. Thank you everybody in the comments for coming on the random night. I really enjoyed it. And I'll be back on Thursday. I've got in a couple of weeks, as I mentioned, going on holiday, so I'll be missing one, but that should be it for a while that I'm missing. So thanks everyone, and we will catch up with you soon. Bye.